The Chicago Bears got their asses whooped by a score of 34-14 in Los Angeles, and they dropped the first game of the 2021 NFL preseason. What went wrong for the Bears in this game? Watch this video to find out. What's going on, guys? I'm back with the Chicago Bears post-game reaction videos, which I'll be doing every single week during this year. So if you guys want more reaction videos from me, be sure to subscribe to the channel. But in today's video, guys, I'll be breaking down the another embarrassment, surprise, surprise, that we had on Sunday Night Football to the Los Angeles Rams, which honestly, I knew this was going to be a loss, guys. Like, I predicted this to be a loss for us. In my prediction video, I knew that we probably wouldn't have much of a chance to win, but to not even keep it close, guys, and to also have some horrible mistakes on the defensive side of the football, that does really make me mad, okay? It's one thing to lose to a pretty good football team that's definitely going to be a title contender this year, but it's a totally different thing to get blown out by that team, to lose by a score of 34-14, which obviously I know the final score is not totally reflective of how the game went because we were in this game until like the middle of the third quarter, right? Like, that's when things got out of hand, but we actually did have a chance to win this game in the first half. We were only down by a point, but in the second half, just everything completely fell apart. Now, obviously, it was not all bad in this game. There was still a lot of positives I do want to take away, such as rookie quarterback Justin Fields scoring his first NFL touchdown. That was such an exciting moment, and I was hella hyped when that happened, guys, okay? So there was some positive things like that. David Montgomery also had an insane game, but ultimately, we still lost this game by 20 points. So obviously, there was a ton more negatives than there were positives. So I'll talk about the negatives, first of all, from this game. And probably the biggest negative takeaway I have from this game is that our defense, man, our once elite defense, 3 years ago, it was top of the league. It is a shell of itself right now. Eddie Jackson, man, he probably played the worst game I've ever seen him play in a Bears uniform. And that really hurts for me to say because I love the guy personally, okay? I was a big fan of him in 2018, and I still think he has the talent to turn it around. But a game like this where he was not even attempting to make a tackle, man, I just cannot defend your play after a game like that. There was a ton of missed tackles I saw specifically from Eddie Jackson, but also Tashawn Gibson, man, he wasn't great out there either today. And it pains me to see, okay, because this guy was on top of the league a couple of years ago. I don't know what happened right now. You obviously saw that play to Jefferson, right? Van Jefferson, he took a 67-yard pass deep down for a touchdown where he actually fell, you know, when he caught that ball, okay? So Eddie Jackson or Tashawn Gibson, either of them should have touched the guy to make sure he was down, because you're taught that in like middle school, okay? The first time you play football, you're taught to make sure the guy is actually down, okay? At least put your hands on him to make sure that guy is counted as being tackled, but our safeties didn't do that, and Van Jefferson ran in for the easy touchdown, okay? Completely untouched. So plays like that where even though you got beat in coverage, at least try to make the tackle. Those just completely infuriate me, okay? Because you should not be allowing easy points like that. Again, I really hope that Eddie Jackson does turn it around, but right now it's not looking good for him, guys, okay? It's been a couple of years since he's actually been an elite safety in this league, and his play has to be better. Otherwise, his defense is not going to be good, okay? And it's obviously not just Eddie Jackson, guys, okay? Obviously, I'm picking on Eddie Jackson right now because he's one of the highest paid guys who did not have a good game today, but he was far from like the main problem, I would say, on this defense. I would say our main problem is that we don't have enough talent in the secondary, specifically at the cornerback position, which is why I was so pissed at getting rid of Kyle Fuller, your number one cornerback, for the past 6-7 years. Marquis Christian looked lost out there, okay? There was a handful of plays in which he got beat on, and there was obviously that one play where I have no idea what even happened there, okay? That deep pass to Cooper Kupp, where Cooper Kupp was not even in the vicinity of any Bears defenders, right? Like, I've never seen a man that wide open, probably ever, being a Bears fan, besides Randall Cobb in 2013 for that game-winning touchdown in that NFC North title game, okay? That's the last time I saw a guy that wide open. And I don't really know right now what the main problem was on that play. We'll probably have to hear from the coaches. You know, it could have been a scheming thing. It could have been a miscommunication thing. But whatever it was, there was nobody even close to Cooper Kupp, okay? Marquis Christian was out there, I would say, in man, and then Eddie Jackson, Tashawn Gibson were, I guess, trying to play deep, but none of them were actually deep, and they had no idea what was going on, which was really the theme for the Bears defense tonight, okay? It was not a bad performance at all in the first half. They actually had a handful of pretty nice stops, okay, after the Bears offense got nothing going. So I would not say the entire performance was bad, but to give up this many big plays, you can't be doing that, okay, if you want to be a good defense in this league. And obviously good defenses in the NFL, they don't allow 34 points to the opposing offense, okay? So I would say big plays definitely doomed the Bears defense the entire night. I'll be a little bit easy on Sean Desai right now because it was his first game as a defensive coordinator ever. But Sean Desai also, man, he has to be better moving forward, or we could be looking for a new defensive coordinator in 2022 because players look lost out there. There's a lack of effort from the defense. And as a good coach, okay, as a good defensive coordinator, you cannot be allowing your defense to do those things. So defense, honestly, very, very disappointing. I didn't have high hopes about the Bears defense at all this year. I knew we would probably be like an average defense because we don't have the talent in the secondary, but I didn't expect us to be this bad where we're allowing like 60, 70-yard touchdowns with no resistance whatsoever, okay? It's a far cry from that elite defense in 2018. It's not close to being elite anymore as of now, okay? So obviously Bears defense, very disappointing. Talking about the Bears offense then, man, what a surprise, okay? Another Matt Nagy offense putting up less than 3 touchdowns on the day. Only putting up 2 touchdowns, only 14 points of offense. And man, that's exactly what I expected to happen, okay? With a quarterback like Andy Dalton, which I have to say, guys, Andy Dalton wasn't even as bad as I thought he was going to be in this game. He actually got the ball out pretty fast. The only one terrible mistake that he made was that interception in the red zone, but that was probably the only really bad thing that Andy Dalton did. But the thing is, though, guys, is that with Andy Dalton, your ceiling as an offense is so ridiculously low. I saw a graph on Twitter where they showed the depth of every single Andy Dalton pass, and he didn't attempt a single pass above 20 yards. Okay, there's absolutely no vertical threat whatsoever in this Bears offense, which is part of the reason why we only scored 14 points on the day. Okay, the Rams knew that Andy Dalton is not the best deep ball thrower in the NFL. He was actually one of the worst deep ball throwers last year, and today, okay, the only deep pass that he took, which it wasn't even that deep in the red zone, that got intercepted. So pretty much what they did was that they gave us everything underneath, okay? They gave us those 5-6 yard short passes, which is why we painfully got down the field eventually, but we couldn't put up that many points in a hurry to keep up with this pretty explosive Rams offense. If you look at Andy Dalton's final stats, it's pretty reflective of that, okay? He threw the ball 38 times, but only had 206 passing yards and 1 interception as well. No touchdowns because Justin Fields stole his touchdown in the end zone. So, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say it was a bad performance at all by Andy Dalton because I think he was pretty okay for what he was asked to do. But that's the thing, guys. Like, that's the most you can ask Andy Dalton to do, okay? He's not going to be crazy athletic outside the pocket. He's not going to turn these broken plays into positive yardage because that's not the type of quarterback that Dalton is. But I would say definitely a good first game for him mostly. But getting to Matt Nagy, man, I don't have this many excuses for Matt Nagy right now because it is year number, 4 now in the Matt Nagy offense, and I still do not know what the Matt Nagy offense even is. I don't understand why Matt Nagy draws up plays on like 4th and 15, for example, that are well short of the sticks. You guys remember that play where it was 4th and 15, Nagy decides to go for it for some reason, which I guess I kind of understand because your defense was doing so bad in that game, so might as well try to score to make it less than a 2-possession game. But I just don't understand why time and time again Nagy has drawn up plays that are well short of the first down marker on like 3rd down, on 4th down. Like, what are you trying to gain from those plays? You're not going to gain anything, okay, unless your receiver somehow makes the guy miss or breaks a tackle, but that's a lot to be banking on, okay? I'd rather have my guy go down the field, have a guy like A-Rob go down the field and try to make a contested catch, which A-Rob was not even given the opportunity to make any fantastic catches tonight because we didn't even want to throw the ball down the field, which I know that's partly because of Dalton's inability to throw down the field, but that's also due to Matt Nagy and his scheming, okay? He chose to go the safe route tonight, and it definitely did not pay off because we only scored 14 points of offense like we've done so many times in the Matt Nagy era. And also, guys, like, I don't understand why people are giving Matt Nagy a free pass for starting the lesser talented quarterback, okay? Because that's my view on this Bears quarterback situation. I know that Andy Dalton didn't play horrible today, but Justin Fields would have elevated your offense to a whole nother level and made you look a lot smarter as a play caller than you actually are. I totally get trying to protect your young quarterback, but our offensive line wasn't even that bad tonight, guys, okay? It obviously was not good, by any stretch of the imagination. But in the first half, they were actually playing pretty well until their first string and second string left tackle, both of them went down with injury. Okay, Jason Peters was playing a fantastic game for the most part, besides that one time he got knocked back on his ass. But otherwise, man, he was out there laying out some pretty nasty blocks. You guys saw on that play where I think it was one of the linebackers, he was blitzing, and at the last second, Jason Peters turns to the side and just pushes him down to the ground. I've never seen Charles Leno make a block like that. So that was a pretty nice block, pretty nice game overall by Jason Peters, but sadly, he went down with an injury, and his replacement, Larry Borom, also went down with an injury. So that's some pretty insane injury luck that the Bears are having on the offensive line. Obviously not good at all. And again, I'm not trying to say our offensive line was great by any means today, but just it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And Dalton was not even touched that much in that first half, besides for like a few plays. So I saw people out there saying that Justin Fields would get killed behind this offensive line going up against that scary, big, bad Rams defense. But that is definitely not what happened out there tonight, okay, with Andy Dalton. And obviously then talking about our guy, Justin Fields, man, what a debut for this guy. Obviously, he was not asked to do that much because Matt Nagy didn't want him throwing the ball much, even though he was in there for, I would say, like, I think 3 or 4 snaps Justin Fields was in there, and he only threw the ball once. It was a pass to Cole Kmet. Pretty good pass. Okay, I mean, I don't know what else I can say about the pass. It was a pretty easy pass, but obviously good first pass by Justin Fields. But then obviously that rushing touchdown was a thing of beauty. He got in there using his 4.4 speed, and just like a running back, you know, went in there through contact and still scored that touchdown, which honestly, guys, that scared the hell out of me when I saw Justin Fields running towards contact, because that's usually not what you want your feature face of the franchise to be doing. But hey, it works, so I'm not going to complain too much about that one. And it also was pretty cool to see Justin Fields score his first ever touchdown in the NFL, the first of many to come in the future, which I am so excited about. And obviously, I was kind of pissed that Matt Nagy didn't allow him to really pass that much. I mean, he was pretty much a handoff specialist for a good portion of the snaps that he played today, which I just do not understand at all. Okay, why just have him in there to hand the ball off? I guess it's obviously because of the threat of Justin Fields running the football. Okay, that's why, you know, a defense has to account for that. Okay, so it is a little bit different, but I would like to see him throw a little bit more next time. I mean, I want him to be the starter full time, but if not that, at least have him throw a couple more passes, because I like what I saw out of the rookie. Obviously not that much, but hey, it was a pretty exciting debut by Justin Fields. And lastly, man, I want to talk about the star of this game, David freaking Montgomery. Man, what a night of football by Monty. This guy saw all the slander out there. He saw all these idiot people in the media not even counting him as being a top 20 running back, and he really worked this offseason. It's definitely apparent in how he played today. Okay, he had a big run of 41 yards to begin this game. His final stats looked amazing: 108 yards on 16 carries for 1 touchdown. And he also went down with the injury in the middle of that game, but still came back to finish that game. And I just love the effort, the heart, and the drive that I saw Monty play with out there. Okay, he was breaking tackles, he was falling forward, he was fighting for every single yard, and that's exactly what you want your running back to be doing. I mean, honestly, it was a great game by all of our running backs. Both Damiere Williams and Monty had pretty good games. Okay, so I'm pretty excited about the future of this Bears rushing attack because it looks pretty deadly so far. But that's pretty much all I want to say in this video, guys. Obviously, not a good game at all by our Chicago Bears to lose by 20 points again on national television. It seems like we've done this so many times in the past, but there were at least some positives to take away. For example, Justin Fields scoring his first NFL touchdown, David Montgomery having a crazy game, and hopefully we can fix things up for the next game against the Bengals next weekend. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your comments down below. As always, bear down.